Everybody ready? Treadmill talk time. So this story actually still boggles me a little bit because as a kid, the reason I call him a kid, he's only 21 years old. You know, he hasn't been on this planet that long. And that doesn't mean he doesn't think like an adult. That just means you're young. You're young in the world. But wow, this kid's got a really old soul, because he actually even took me aback the way he conducts himself. And my first time training him was Saturday, right? Last Saturday. Take him through a workout. He hasn't trained for a couple months. It's almost a little over 2 months he hasn't been training. And so he's not in the greatest of shape, but he's not in bad shape either. And I'm taking this kid through the workout, and we end up finishing. And I get ready to tell him my prices, tell him what I'm about. And he comes at me with, what about a contract? And I told him I don't do contracts. I go, if you want to train with me, you can train with me. If you don't, you don't have to. I think that holds me responsible to be a great trainer, because I need to have you come back the next time. And he looks at me, he goes, I want to be in a contract. And my jaw just drops. I'm like, I've never heard anyone say, I want to be in a contract. And so I ask him, why do you want to be in a contract so badly? He says he needs to hold himself accountable. And I'm just like, wow. I've been training for over 18 years. I've never heard anyone say, I want to be in a contract. And this kid, from saying that, my respect went up to him a couple notches, because that was insane. That means he's going to invest in himself and in the training fully. And he's going to so deeply invest in himself that I felt I had to invest in him at an even deeper level. There's something about when someone takes themselves so seriously, you have to take it that much more seriously. I haven't stopped thinking about this kid. I'm not going to let this kid down. I just won't. There's no question if or can. It's just going to get done. And it's going to get done because he took the time to really invest in himself. Now back to the contract. I told him, you know what, I got to think about this, because like I said, I don't do contracts. I don't think they work, personally. And all it does is put people in monetary strain. And what's the point of doing that for someone? If they're not interested, they're not interested. If they don't want to do it, they're not going to do it. And they're not going to put the work into it. So, I'm driving home, thinking about this. And I come up with a solution. So I end up giving the kid a call, and I say to him, all right, here's the thing. So we're going to do a contract, but it's not going to be monetary. I go, this is what I want to do with you. Tell me specifically why you are doing this. Give me the deepest emotional reasons to why you are doing what you are doing. And I want 3 of them. I want 3 deep, specific reasons, and we'll both sign that contract. And if you don't do it, you have let yourself down. Now, some people might say, well, if it's not hitting the wallet, they're not going to respect it. I don't ever think that's true. I think if you hit someone's wallet, all it does, like I said, it just puts people in financial strain. But if you're held accountable, truly accountable to yourself and your actions on a deep and emotional level, everything changes. If I say to myself, I'm gonna do something for my kid, and then I don't do it, that doesn't feel right. I've not only let myself down, I've let my child down. And that's just not happening. It won't happen. I refuse to let it. And so that's why I'm sure all the parents that I'm talking about get that too. Or even your husband, your wife, a family member. There's just something a little more intense to it when you really put it into, I'm doing it for these specific tailored reasons. Getting to this goal for these specific tailored emotional reasons. And one of the most important things I can tell someone, when a person, just as I was saying, really has this deep-seated desire to really take themselves seriously on their journey, other people are going to take them serious on their journey as well. Because I go 100% for people. And as a trainer, life coach, or personal, other people just normally don't go 100% for themselves. They don't. Not in the areas they should be. Because I would think if you were paying for something, you would go 100%. You would go all out. It would be no question. But a lot of times, and I hate to say it, it's usually close to 75-80% of the time, people don't take it seriously. They just don't. They learn to take it seriously. They learn to do it because I'm so serious for them. I'm going to make them accountable. And sometimes that's what people feel they need to do. They need to pay a trainer to make them accountable. But imagine if you just make yourself accountable. When you force yourself into accountability, it almost forces other people to hold you accountable too, to rise you to a new standard, to always make you grow and achieve. And so, for this kid, I cannot stop thinking about this kid. I really can't, because I have to go 200%. I am competitive that way. I got such a love for people, it's really funny, because I want so much for them, because I know how great they can be, given the right circumstances. When you're put in the right circumstances, watch how your light shines. And I'm so happy to have been a part of this community and see things happening because of the way I present it. And they're going to help other people grow with that too. It's nourishing for the community. As the community grows stronger, universally we grow stronger. Universally we get better. Always a step more. And to say, you know, I was nervous doing this, I'm not as nervous anymore. I was scared doing this, I'm not as scared anymore. I didn't believe in myself, I now believe in myself. So I don't know what's going to be in store for me and this kid. I just know great things are about to happen, because we're already starting in the right direction. He's already starting in a position of power instead of a position of weakness. A lot of people I start with, we start with a position of weakness. Like I said, I give 100, they're going to give me 50. And then when they start saying, wow, he really cares about me, they're going to give me 60. And then when they start feeling good about themselves, they're going to give me 70, 75. And then eventually, they usually get up to the 90s, 95%. Getting to that 100%, that's just hard to do. I don't fault anyone for it. If they want to get there, they're going to get there. If not, I wish them luck anyway. I'm just going to keep pushing them to go to new heights and new levels and challenge themselves and be great in whatever field they need to be great in. And it's so funny, because everything else that happens in your life comes together. When you focus on one thing, if you can do great at one thing, you'll do good at all things. You can only do great, you can only be great at one specific task. You cannot be a jack of all trades and be great at all of them. It's just not going to happen. The amount of intense energy you have to put into it, you can't put it at all things. But when you change the attitude to be great in a specific area, you can be good at all things. You'll be good at everything else. So funny because Melissa O'Brien talks about proper breathing, meditation, putting it together. And people will say, and I'm not saying all people, this is definitely a generalized statement, but they'll talk about how they just don't have the time. You don't have the time not to. Invest in yourself. Because when you invest in yourself, truly, you can invest in other people. I have never seen a mother or a father or a friend or a relative be able to give me their fullest when they're not getting proper sleep, when they're intoxicating their bodies, when they're not learning, when they're not growing, when they're not taking the opportunity to really look within. That's what that is. Invest in yourself so fully that you can invest in other people. I'll tell you right now, am I a busy man? Hell yeah, I'm a busy man. I love it though, because I take the time to also invest in myself. I'll Instagram people, I'll call people, I do it for the community as well. And it doesn't wear me out. It doesn't. And I'm able to invest in people because I have to invest in me too. Because how could I possibly be the best for them if I'm not the best for me? And what this kid did at 21 years old, it's like he gets it already. It's insane. I can only imagine how far this kid's gonna go. Because honestly, when he said that, he got me super excited. He got me pumped. Because I'm like, wow, we already have a framework though. A lot of times you gotta build that framework first. I don't have to with this kid. He's already got the framework. He knows what he wants to do. It makes me kind of think, because I know sometimes we get a little entitled as people. We get so much handed to us. And it's true. It's like so many people have so much stuff. The fact that I have a treadmill in my house, I don't even have to go to the gym anymore. It's in my house. I got a big screen TV. I got lights, a roof over my head. Not everybody has that. And sometimes you have to sit back and take the time to really appreciate it. And appreciate it to the fact and know, look, it could all go away one day. And that's why you have to take the time to always invest in yourself. Because you don't know what the future holds. You never do. But the one thing I do know is as a society, we are extremely entitled. And we constantly talk about how either someone has something more or how we could be better off. Take action to be better off. If you want to be better off in your life, do the necessary things to be better off. Am I saying life is fair? Absolutely not. I don't think life is fair. I don't. I think as a society, when we work hand in hand with one another, create win-win situations the very best that we can, I think we can create an even fair society. I think we can be an even more empowered society and grow as a society. But that takes effort and time and actions. But I also think it's important to be a very aware society, to understand what you truly have. There's this quote, and I'm probably going to butcher a little bit, but they say, in life, to believe that it's fair is like telling a lion that the lion can't eat you because you're not going to eat it. And in life, we all know it just doesn't work that way. You can't go up to a lion like, hey, I'm not going to eat you, so you're not going to eat me, right? You're going to get eaten. Stay away from the lion. Do the things that you need to do to move yourself in the position to be successful. And so you can talk about what you have, or you can talk about what you don't have. And when you talk about what you do have, you're going to double, triple, quadruple what you do have. But if you talk about what you don't have, then eventually you're not going to have anything. That's what you threw it out there to the universe. And then when the universe gives it to you, you complain about it because it's just not fair. But you made it an already possibly unfair situation, the most unfair situation you possibly could at the end of the day. It's just like, well, you talk about what you don't have, so you don't even appreciate what you do. And life has a way of taking things from you if you don't appreciate where you're standing, especially if you are not taking action, because life sits still for absolutely nobody. When I talk about being consistent, the ability to adapt, life does not stand still for anybody. Life is constantly and an influx of movement and changes. That's the only thing you can guarantee in life. I will tell you, I don't have to work my butt off anymore to stay in shape, but I still have to work. I cannot completely stop and just sit down, and I wouldn't have it any other way anyway. Because when you put yourself in a balance to this is what it is, you're empowered from it. I think a lot of times people will think I need to act in a way to get to this goal so I don't have to work at that goal anymore. And that's just not true. That would be like, all right, you know what? I'm going to brush my teeth for 80 days. A little over 2 months, 90 days, 3 months. I'm going to brush my teeth for 3 months straight. I'll never have to brush my teeth again. Woo-hoo! I figured it out. And it's like, no, that's not how life works. But too often, we'll put ourselves in those positions to where like, oh, my life works like this because I'm doing. When you give, you will get. Remember that. When you give, you will get. But also invest in you. Give not only to the society, give to yourself. You can call it selfish or you can call it unselfish. It really could be either one. However you look at it. It's really your definition of it. But you just have to know you have to give to yourself fully in order to give to others fully. That's a law of life. One of the coolest things I've ever seen was when I started hanging around more successful people. Because the cool thing about this internet world, is you're more inclined to expand your reach and your knowledge to other areas of the world. It's actually one of the coolest things. When you really sit back and think about it, you're like, this is pretty awesome. And they talk about how like, it's pretty lonely on the mountaintop. You don't have many friends. And I don't think that could be further from the truth. Will you have new friends? Yeah. You're going to get new friends. If your friends are out being stupid, drinking on a regular basis, partying, not taking time investing in themselves, yes, your friends will change. You don't even have to judge them. You don't have to, they're doing what they want to do. If that's what they want to do, more power to them. That's what they want to do. But if you have different aspirations and you want to do greater things in your life and be remembered for something other than being a party animal and a goof off, you'll naturally change. And not only naturally, like, the way you present yourself changes. The way you stand, the way you speak, the way you conduct things. But the people you surround yourself with will actually change as well. They just, the party animals will start coming out of your life, and other people who have similar goals and similar ambitions will come into your life. And that's just the way that it works. And you won't be the only one on the mountaintop. You'll be with a group on the mountaintop. You'll be with a team on the mountaintop. I don't get why people are self-made millionaire. Like, there's no such thing as a self-made millionaire. I'm like, unless you're born into wealth, and then even then you're still not a self-made millionaire because your parents did it for you. So what are you talking about? No one can do anything by themselves. And when people realize this, it will actually become empowering, because you will understand that you must do for other people. You cannot screw other people, or burn other people, or hurt other people unnecessarily to get to where you need to go. And it's like, we've had times in history where groups would take out other groups. And it's like, well, imagine what would happen if these groups got together and focused on each other's strengths. Imagine that. Every group getting together and appreciating and respecting the culture of the group, respecting the differences, respecting all of those other things, and seeing how far that group really can get. And I think that's an important message for people to know. They're like, we're not in this by ourselves. Like, whenever I hear a tough story of a kid who has bad parents, or an abusive spouse, or any kind of broken down, beaten human being, the one thing I know, they have an opportunity. They might not see it right away, but this is what I think about when I think about going to work, doing the things I need to do. It's 6 in the morning out here. I did not want to walk on this treadmill this morning. It's just too damn early. The sun's barely even out. But I do it for me. Like I said, I feel great now. I'm glad I got on. But I do it for you guys too. Because I know there might be that person who sees or hears just one video and have a glimmer of hope somewhere. That inspires me. I know I'm supposed to try and grow this as much as I can, and hey, sub and like and share and blah, blah, blah. And I'm trying to get there. My marketer gets kind of mad at me sometimes. Like, Cliff! I'm like, but it's not about that. It is about one person believing in themselves just a little bit more, pushing that momentum in the right direction, or stopping the bad momentum, finding a way to stop that uncomfortable momentum, and then starting to push in the right direction. And I'm so grateful to have met, I actually emailed Evan Carmichael. This guy, wow, he's just so awesome. Like, he's just a cool man. He was one of the first YouTubers I started watching when I started doing my YouTube channel. Because like I said, I really relate to the guy. I get what his message is, and it's a great one. And he really does believe in people. Like, he's not a BSer, that's legit him. And he actually, one of the few YouTubers who will email me back every time. He's got over 1 million, I think he's almost at 1.5 million subscribers now. And that's just in the YouTube world. This man's doing all sorts of other things, but he always has the time to invest in me. And I'm absolutely going to invest in him. Are you kidding me? Like, because you're in such a high position, you could look down at me, you could put your thumb on me, or you could say, yeah, I'll help you out with that. And that really shows character. Like, when you're in a position of power and you still love other people. That's what I want. I've been in positions of power before. I'm going to be in more positions of power in this community as well, because that's just what I do. I maintain, I stay consistent, and I won't let you guys down. That I can guarantee. I hope I'm able to continue to comment to everybody all the time, because I'm going to do my damnedest. I'm going to do my best. No matter how many people are in this community. We're in this together. The 4 founders of this community, I absolutely appreciate you. And you are the pillars to why this community is growing so much. The reason I named this community Clifford Starks is not because this is not a one-man band, but this is the name of what I represent. I represent what Clifford Starks is. And to me, Clifford Starks represents something positive, and I always have to remember that. Because when I'm on my deathbed, no one's going to care about how much wealth I accumulated. No one's going to care about my just personalized successes. People are going to care about how they felt when they were around me. That's what's most important to me. How did you feel when you were around me? I want you to feel empowered. I want you to feel good about yourself. I want you to have balance. I don't want you to be cocky. I don't want you to think you're better than anybody else. But I want you to feel great about yourself. And I want you to do the necessary things to help out the community and help out your society. I want you to empower yourself, and I want you to empower others. That's what I stand for. And I want others to stand for it as well. So, well, had a lot of fun talking to you guys. Hope you're all having a great day. I'll talk to you later.